Welcome to the Goodwood Show.
Welcome everyone to another The Goodwood Show. Today with Josip, judge on the Colosseum hackathon, founder on Solana, and also part of the Superteam Balkan. Welcome.
Thank you, Vitor.
Let's start from the beginning. How did you end up in crypto, especially Solana?
Yeah, so I'm a God-fearing Christian boy, as one of my VCs called me. So I'm quite against like volatility and like gambling. I was even skeptical of investing as well a bit. And 5 years ago, I had a major prejudice towards crypto and NFTs in general. I've seen my like relatives and over in Croatia being like swayed by it, and it's like way too much into it. So I was like quite skeptical. I took like the opposing end, and the way I ended up was 5 years ago. I was bored at my job, so I opened up Upwork and I saw a gig. There was like one single post which disappeared there for 5 minutes because it broke the Upwork's terms of service because it led to a third-party communication platform like Discord. But like that 5 minute time window was enough for me to reach out, and it's supposed to be a 3-day gig for like front-end job like development. I didn't realize it was for an NFT project, so it was like gamified staking thing. You could send your NFTs to Loot Trip, etc. Some of you heard about the game Remnants.
Oh yes, of course. I'm still part of the heist and stuff.
Exactly. So I was one of the first technical people to join there, and there's like a happy little accident because it kind of broke down all the prejudice because I seen what could be done with NFTs and the technology, even though it was like at the moments when Solana was breaking, like just restarting the whole time, you couldn't really build a fully viable product, but it's still enough for me to see the potential. And the thing that made me fall in love the most, and I'm going to finish my point here, is up to that point, I worked in dev shops, dev agencies. So I was kind of stripped down of the relationship, speaking directly with the consumer. I had my project managers, I had a team lead and so forth, and I had to build in isolation. I had Trello tickets or Jira tickets, and I had to resolve them. But the part which actually kicked off 5 years ago for me was I was at the Discord server. I was speaking directly to customers. They were actually in my DMs giving me direct feedback. They're screen recording everything, running tests, and trying to reproduce the bugs to help me fix an issue. So the proactivity and the connection between like how easily a founder can reach their audience in crypto was the thing that made me fall in love, and that's where I actually kind of all the walls and prejudice like fell off, and I dove deeper into it. So I never actually even knew too much about Bitcoin or Ethereum. I never signed a transaction.
Have a wallet.
I never signed a transaction on Ethereum or
So
Bitcoin.
good.
I never owned Bitcoin or Ethereum in my lifetime. It is actually one of the first interactions was through came to Solana, had to set up a wallet and wipe code an app back in the day without AI.
Okay, that's good. Okay, in Remnants, it's like proper OG project, right? And probably that's I don't know. Maybe I because I met the founder of Remnants back in the day, like in Amsterdam or something like that. So it's funny because you go straight away to the degen side of it. It's not even that you do like DeFi or something. It's like straight away game degen Ponzi stuff.
Look, no, at the time I didn't realize it was like degen. Like all I saw was people really into the game, people highly engaged. I didn't really understand the financial. I didn't really understand the financial aspect of it at the time. I was always more into like how to level up the game, how to bring the lore, etc. The financial aspect came in later that I realized it's not my passion per se, but I have figured out how gaming and without going too much into details
of course.
I came in straight from one position. I came to a whole different world, but I haven't really understood the full surface of it. I was in a honeymoon phase, kind of. So I only saw the pretty parts of crypto at the time. I didn't realize anything else.
So you said that you didn't even have Bitcoin, Ethereum. So you went straight away to Solana, straight away to Remnants. but then the market kind of went to bear market, right? So you said that you got in at the honeymoon phase, like at the top. So everything looked nice. There's a lot of people buying NFTs and stuff, but then suddenly goes down. What kept you
Yeah,
staying here?
it wasn't necessarily like top in terms of price discovery, but in terms of like the vibes, it was like hyper builder mode, hyper. It is like a really taste of Silicon Valley and people grinding. At the point where like the price dropped down to $8 or so, like I never had issues with price going down so hard because I never actually owned too much Sol. Like I'm mostly into stable coins. Back in the day, there was pretty much like no stable coin adoption, or I don't even remember if they existed like 4 or 5 years ago on Solana. But yeah, I wasn't too much into Sol, so the price didn't really affect me. And even when the price went down, the builder mentality was still around. Like we've seen some really exciting hackathons and opportunities on Solana. To go back to your question, what kind of kept me was that even as the price went up or down, there is still that core community of builders and developers that sticked around and fought for the vision of it. Even nowadays, when there's like crypto is out of the bubble in a way, it's mass adopted, everyone has heard about crypto, there's still a core set of developers and enthusiasts that actually are still pushing for the original vision. Like maybe not implementing the vision in the same way we thought it might be implemented a few years ago, but it's still the original vision that's being pushed. So it's still some a force that kind of pushes me back to crypto. Even though I might be tempted to like move to fully to AI, there's still something there keeping me.
Yeah, that actually is. It has on my list of questions. Wouldn't be more profitable for you to go back to Web 2, for example, or?
Yeah, I actually, so when I worked in Web 2, I worked for a super high paying job. So it was $4,500 euros gross monthly. So that's like 60,000 euros yearly gross, which for Croatian standards is actually a lot.
Yeah.
And especially it was like even pre-COVID, if I recall correctly. And I was still essentially like a mid/junior developer in some way. So that was like a super high paying job that I had to work for like 2-3 hours a day. I didn't really have to work full time to actually earn that money.
Okay.
And the reason why I went to Upwork was because I had extra time. So back in the day, it was actually highly profitable. And on Solana, I actually had a couple of years where I didn't earn a single penny because I was working for free as a founder, trying to see what works. So even going back now, like I could find a job that's super high paying, but there's just like something energizing in being like kind of the Silicon Valley circles or mindset, and just like pushing for it, almost as like a higher purpose than just like earning money.
So the thing is, what kept you here is more like this high energy, right? It's like build, because especially if you were on Remnants, right? You had to be delivering new features, new things, because like the olders, they want more. They always ask
That is
for
like
more,
221 NFT Discord vibes, where if like the dev is not responsive for 2 days, the question is, oh, is he bragging?
Yeah.
Like what's going
Yeah.
on? So
Yeah.
that is like the start of my journey, and it kind of prolonged for like everything else was kind of just like a follow up of that same mentality where you have to shape, you have to. And the thing that still keeps me grinding is that almost as if like job's not finished, right? So I still haven't found that thing that's going to blow up, that's going to be a unicorn, that's going to change the world drastically. So there's some contributions, there's some learnings I have made, but I still haven't completed my holy mission to change at least some part of the world.
So how come then from someone that doesn't have anything to do with crypto goes to Remnants, developer, and then suddenly now, I don't know, 3-4 years after, you are a judge on Colosseum, you advise projects, you help them with raising funds. What changed, and how was that journey until now?
I mean, in Croatia and the Balkans, I would dare to say that at least 90% people or more don't even know what the word startup means. They literally don't know what startup means. When I use the word on like family meetings, they think I'm a smart ass because, oh, you're using those smart words like startups, you're doing a startup. Oh, sure, nice, yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
good
yeah.
for you. And that's like the mentality. And the thing that happened to me was I was probably like always meant to be like a startup founder entrepreneur. My parents are entrepreneurs, but like
Okay.
family businesses in Croatia, like cafe bars and shops and
Yeah.
so forth. So I have that kind of entrepreneur bloodline, but in a new day and age and like being like tech savvy, it's gravitating more towards startups. And when I got to crypto and Solana, it is the first taste of startups. So it's kind of like a drug. Like I can't go back to dreaming about setting up my own personal cafe shop and like a small business. Like I'm too. I went too deep to go
Yeah, yeah,
take a
yeah, yeah.
step back.
You
I
cannot
couldn't
go
even
back, right?
exactly. Like I wouldn't dare to go back to working in a dev shop where I'm there's like a barrier between me and users. Like I want to be proactively building in the public and so forth. So the thing that kept me was simply that it feels like home in a way, as much as it sounds like cliche, but it feels like it's natural thing for me to stick around in environment like this. And there's only one environment that I see that has like similar vibes right now as like early crypto days. It's like AI. Like
AI.
AI
Yeah.
is
Okay.
now a potentially where Anthropic might be like a new Solana foundation, or OpenAI might be like the new
Yeah.
Bitcoin community or something. So we see those like new communities and new generations of builders sticking around. I'm not fully sure if that's going to maintain in a few years. Crypto has a thing that kind of keeps you in the loop, keeps you retained even after all the years, like a bag
Yeah.
bias and so forth. But yeah, that's kind of the. If I were like a newer generation, I would potentially do the same thing in AI. But as I'm a boomer at this point, like 30 years old, I think it kind of fit for me naturally to go into crypto startup ecosystem.
But my question was more like, what did change? Like, because not everyone can be just a judge from Colosseum, right? You
What?
have to have the skills. You had to learn stuff and to be able to even advise projects, right? So, what changed from a normal dev to now an advisor?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the point where I was a developer by vocation. It's what I love doing, but ultimately I'm more into soft skills, engaging with people, communication skills, and doing kind of like business development more. So
Okay.
over the years, as I went on to being a startup founder, and I wore multiple hats, so I had to do the fundraising, I had to do go to market, I had to do kind of everything, not just the dev part. Other parts of me kind of got to the point where they could shine. Um, so it's simply as crypto was kind of a rediscovery phase of myself, where I pivoted more into like the BD growth and community type of roles and activities. And it all led kind of to a point where the crypto was nice to me, and I was nice to cryptos. I felt the need to give back. I also joined Superteam India back in the day, because there's only like
Okay.
Superteam Balkans. There's only a couple of super teams like India, UK. I'm not
Yeah, it's
sure if
quite
there's
like
like
10
Germany.
maybe now, right?
Well, it is like 3, 4, 5 at the day when I joined Superteam India.
Oh, at that time.
A-
Okay, okay,
and
okay.
and from there, um, I felt the need to kind of give back to community because Superteam was too kind to me. Um, and I set up the same thing in the Balkans. So Superteam Balkans was co-founded by me, Mattia, and Marco. Um, and again, from there, I worked with founders more. I worked with the ecosystem. I was helping other founders, and as I was helping other founders, I kind of uh, transitioned a bit more into from being like a founder person myself to being also mentor to other founders.
Okay.
And that naturally gravitated towards Colosseum as well. So I participated in a couple of Colosseums. I won 2 of them. I mentored startups, and I mentored startups to win at Colosseum. And naturally, it kind of gravitated towards also being a judge at Colosseum. So I wanted to learn how it is behind the scenes, how the judges actually think about these startups, what's their perspective. So I felt the desire to be a judge as well.
Okay, makes sense. And then you mentioned your family actually is a common thing with my guests, that they don't actually say exactly what they do. First, because they may, like family or friends may not understand, and second, if they understand, they may think, oh, but that's a scam, right? So when someone asks you what you do, what did you say to them? How do you explain
So
it?
in 2021, 2022, I simply said I was the developer because that was my
Yeah, of course.
primary
Yeah, yeah,
role.
yeah,
But as I became a
yeah.
founder, I just tell them that I'm an entrepreneur. I don't even tell them
Okay.
that I'm a founder because entrepreneur is a more common word here, and
Yeah,
founder of a startup
generic.
is.
Yeah.
And it's just like going back to the point where I said I work with startups, and they're like, startups?
Yes,
What?
yes, yes, yes.
um,
But you don't mention crypto or blockchain or anything when you explain,
I do
or
mention to some of them. Um, I guess when somebody asks for details, I tell them the following. I worked I work in an ecosystem called Solana. Have you heard of Bitcoin? They say yes. Okay, there's Bitcoin, and then beneath is like Ethereum, and then there's like Solana. And Solana is like the third largest blockchain by some metrics, and second by some other metrics. That's kind of Bitcoin, yeah,
yeah,
Bitcoin,
yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So it's mostly just like super surface coverage of the ecosystem where I build, and I mostly focus on like being an entrepreneur, helping founders, and so forth.
Yes, you mentioned also that you, because a super team gave you so much, you felt the need to give back, right? So this drive 12 projects, right? So what did super team gave you? Like what did they do different from other places that you could have went to? Like what's the difference between being on super team or go directly to raise money with VCs from the old traditional way?
Yeah, I mean, Superteam 5 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever, and Superteam now is like a different thing. Just like Solana 4 years ago, Solana now is a different thing. But 4 years ago, when I first joined Superteam, I think it was 4 years ago.
Mhm.
I essentially joined by applying for a grant. So I applied for a Superteam Insta grant. It is called Insta grant. I'm not sure if they're called Insta anymore, but they were
Okay.
called Insta grant because you got a response within 1 hour. So I took the
Okay.
liberty to apply, and I didn't even know that if you apply for it and get accepted, that you become a member. I just like wanted free money, right? Like I need an opportunity to build this new startup. And
Yeah, yeah.
I applied. Within 20 minutes, I got an approval email and saying like, "Congrats, you're a Superteam member. Here's some money to help with your startup." So it is there's less people applying for these grant pools. There was no AI slop back in the day, so you could like easily trust an application that is
Yeah,
completely
of course.
new. So I had the benefit to build while Solana was still small, and I was entrusted with those like initial few $1,000s of non-equity grant. So that's like the first taste of Superteam, where it was literally I got value before I even joined.
Okay.
And from there, I got mentorships, support, product feedback, first users, content creators talking about my startup. I also found an example in like Cash. Cash was leading Superteam back in the day.
Yeah.
So I kind of had everything I needed as a founder to find some sort of direction. So I had all the resources, but also a community and a person I could look up to and follow their pathway.
Yeah, and
Um,
you like you could just focus on your whatever was your skill, dev, the developing, coding, whatever, right? And let some other more experienced person do kind of a little marketing for you and
I mean,
advise you on other things, right?
I did get some like marketing support, but I still had to do everything beyond development. It's more so that I had somebody to actually mentor me in how do I start wearing multiple hats? How do I do this thing called marketing? How do I tweet stuff? Like I had a Twitter account with 200 followers, probably 100
Yeah.
followers. But when I joined Superteam, I essentially got my first 50 followers from the community. I got some people actually engaging with me, and I also got people that helped me learn how to write better posts, how to talk about my product, how to go to the users and find them and so forth. So I did have to do everything beyond development myself, but it was amplified, it was accelerated, and then
Yeah.
I didn't have to do some mistakes myself because I saw other people making mistakes or telling me what their experience is.
Yeah, but at the time you didn't know what super team was, or did you knew already
I
what they?
didn't. So when I first joined, I didn't. I just know that there's like some grant pool that I wanted to apply for. It is in India. Like I didn't have Superteam here.
Yeah.
It is kind of distant to me. I didn't even know I could join Superteam India. So exactly, no, it's another happy little accident that happened for me on Solana. So first one was that Upwork gig back in the day, which made me come to Solana, and the second one was I took the courage to apply for the grant, and everything else followed from there. So I got the full benefits of joining Superteam early and getting their support.
So then you thought, okay, let's create our own Superteam Balkan, right? How was the process? Was it hard? Solana Foundation was easy. Explain to us what.
Yes and no. So it is hard again in a way that you don't really have startup founders, and you really had to build the infrastructure from zero. Like there's no communities, there's no habit of joining communities in the Balkans, like entrepreneur communities, etc. You find a couple of clubs on universities, like, but that's it. That's the bare minimum. You don't have like football communities, like soccer and sports, or like a couple of similar activities, but like entrepreneurship wise or crypto communities, we didn't have those officially anywhere in the Balkans. So it was really hard to resolve the cold start. But luckily, I had experience of seeing how Superteam India did their playbook. We had some budget secured for the pilot project, like to make the first build station to get the first founders. And luckily for us, like Superteam Balkan would never exist if there was no people and entities like Solfair and Vidor from Solfair. Even though Superteam Balkans didn't have any communities, it at least had a couple of people, founders that were actually early on Solana and set up a really good example and set the bar high for us. Like one of the biggest allies of Superteam Balkans is Solfair, essentially. If it weren't for their initial push and their support, both monetary and non-monetary, and examples from Vidor, like we could really make the cut. So multiple things had to fall into place where me, Mattia, and Marco meet together to form Superteam Balkans, me being part of Superteam India to understand how it goes, getting also support and blessing from them, including like the budget for the initial pilots, and also having like some sort of unofficial foundation laid out by training communities, entities like Soulflare, and so forth. And it is chewing glass, essentially. Like I was also building my startup at the time, for digital comic collecting called The Editor, but also at the same time trying to found Superteam Balkans. And Mattia also had its own stuff and tried to help to biggest possible extent. And Marco was the one that kind of gave a lot of time initially because he focused on it full time. So yeah, it kind of boils down to lucky stars falling into place, right people at the right time with the right support, and chewing glass. That's it. So it took probably a year of hard chewing glass. Like literally, we would take a trip to 300 kilometers just to speak with a founder that you should like join us. We really went to an extent where you shouldn't really do this. But now we're in a position where a lot of people that are in crypto or in the Balkans or adjacent to crypto, they heard about Superteam Balkans that are kind of coming to us at this point. So we managed to build the infrastructure, and I'm pretty confident that Superteam Balkan is one of the first quality accelerator type of startups in the Balkans. Like again, there is no startup culture. We're one of the first entities in the Balkans, at least like Croatia, Serbia, and Bosnia, Slovenia, to actually talk about and accelerate early stage startups. So it's kind of like a mini Silicon Valley in the Balkans.
So actually, because I don't know the process, how the super teams are created and why created in certain areas, right?
When two super teams meet together and they love each other and then they'll hold hands, the baby super team spawns like a new shipyard spawns, and it was it.
That would be easy. That would be much easier. No, my thing is like I assume that would be because of demand, right? Because you have, imagine, so many people in Croatia that use crypto, and I don't know, the main super team would decide, okay, we need someone there to aggregate all this community. But from what I'm seeing, is not exactly like that, right? It's more like if you have founders or if you have people that want to create something like that.
No, you're actually on the right track. You have to have some sort of demand, and then you come in and say that here's demand. Like there's organic community in Web3 rising up in my country, whether it's Ethereum or Solana. Like, we want to capture this moment as Superteam and want to amplify it and put all of those founders on Solana and on the right track. We didn't really have that too much in the Balkans, but like, we kind of sold it well. Like, we had trading communities, a lot of trading communities, because in Balkans people are poor. They're looking for new life opportunities. They want a new page, and they're kind of doubling down on crypto, investing, stocks, etc. So it's like a new avenue for them to maybe like get out of the miseries and daily life issues and so forth. And we actually managed to correctly detect that these people are not into trading as much as they're into new opportunities. So we use existing trading communities in the Balkans and heavily engaged with them. Mark was actually already part of some of them and led one community. But we managed to find like 20% people in those communities that were actually also developers or founders or like those profiles. And we kind of just took those people and put the focus on them. So, okay, we have these trading communities, but what are the people that, well, let's make a builder community, and one can complement another. We still have that relationship where builders amplify traders and traders builders as like first users of new products, and these guys build new products. So we kind of had that moment where we were creative enough to recognize that even though there's no initial organic builder community spawning, like there was some signals that there might be a builder community like Vidor and Soulflare, like Magic Eden, having some people in Croatia and so forth. And combining those signals with this training community, like, we managed to find the right people to make an actual functioning builder community, luckily. And that was like a hard task. We had to re-educate people that this is not a trading alpha group. We're not here for the alpha. Like, and we managed to do it probably because of the culture. Because even though we don't necessarily have the same shared interest over trading, because our focus is on builders, we're still Balkans guys, right? And we want to support each other.
Course.
So we're all kind of in this together. We all want to try to increase the standards in the Balkans, even though you're tackling it from one side and we're trying to tackle the issue from the other side. But to summarize the whole point, in the Balkans, we didn't have that emerging builder community. We kind of built it, derived it from other existing communities that are adjacent to building.
And it's funny because you mentioned, right, all the countries that used to be ex-Yugoslavia, right? And with Superteam Balkan, you kind of joined a community that was separated by politics, religion, and stuff. And what I like in crypto is that doesn't matter if you are black, white, blonde, Spanish, if you speak whatever language, as long as you understand a bit of English, you can be, you have a Discord or a Twitter, you can be part of everything, and you can build the biggest company in the world in whatever, Indonesia or Australia, or you don't have to be in San Francisco or in London, right?
Yeah,
and I think Superteams help on that as well.
Yeah, and the fun part here is that out of 20 plus Superteams, Balkans is the only one that's a region. Everything else is a country. Germany, UK, USA, etc. We're the only one that's a region. There's a couple of reasons. One of them was because if you set up Superteam Croatia, we're kind of, we don't want, I mean, I'm saying this as a joke. It's not a reality, but there's maybe a small part of it there. You don't really want Serbs to think, oh, fuck them Croats, we're not going to go, we're going to set up our own Superteam. And the opposite, oh, fuck them Serbs, like, we're not going to go there. So we kind of, we actually wanted to purposely join the region together, and we're trying to figure out the name, like Superteam Slavia, but that's too much Yugoslavia, right? But then Adriatic, but then you exclude the countries like Serbia that are far from the sea, Adriatic Sea. But maybe Balkans, but it also includes like Greece and Turkey, which is not really our focus and shared culture. But we opted into Balkans because screw it, whatever.
Yeah, that's good. I actually didn't know about what Balkans mean in terms, and then I was explained that is a mountain, a group of mountains called Balkan that join a few countries, right? So it's kind of funny that part. The other thing is, like, how independent are each super team? Like, can you do you have a guidelines when you join that you have to follow strictly, or you guys can focus on whatever you want
It's like
independently?
it's like siblings relationships, like brothers and sisters, right? So do you have the full autonomy of your life? Yes, you do. But do you still sometimes depend on your brother? Do you sometimes feel like reaching out? Do you collaborate? Do you fight? Do you compete against one another? So it's kind of that relationship, I would say. We're at the same level there. There's sometimes overlaps where what if a founding team has one founder from the Balkans and the other one is from
Yeah, exactly.
Germany,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
So how do you handle those cases? And there's natural selection where some founders gravitate more towards one country, so it kind of clicks for them more than it clicks for us. They naturally, subconsciously or proactively pick one that they prefer more. So we always kind of like to just like offer how we can help you from this region, from that region, and you figure it out. You don't really like lock them in and then
And
go
you,
to Germany.
I assume that you're not excluding anyone. If someone from whatever Italy has a project and if they don't have a super team, I don't know how
Yeah,
it
so
works, but
if there is no super team there, you connect with the one that's most geographically or culturally located next to you, that share culture. So if there's Italy, you could essentially choose if it's like, I don't know, Germany or Balkans. But maybe you feel like more Balkans, it's easier trips and so forth. So we don't exclude anyone that doesn't have a super team. The goal is always to give them some sort of home or community they can join to. If there's like an influx of people coming from Italy to Balkans, like a huge chunk, that's like a flag for us that maybe it's time to start thinking about a new super team in Italy. So you kind of open up for everyone that doesn't have their own super team, and you try to fill the polls. In like Czechia, we don't have a super team Czech, but there's like a net organic community joining there, and they're sending us teams because there's no official super team, and I surely hope we're gonna see super team Czech real soon.
okay. Oh yeah, okay. That's good. Some alpha. It's quite curious because you have a lot of super teams in the same region. You don't have Spain, Portugal, Italy, and it's quite curious because I think all those countries have a lot of crypto users. So I'm not
Yeah,
sure what is missing there.
it's probably missing a team that recognized the opportunity and proactively approached like global super team and asked for a blessing. So you could have that whole building community, but nobody actually came to an idea. Let's actually do something. Let's make it official.
Hmm.
If you don't have like a leadership team that could take over that responsibility, you're not gonna have a super team. So it has to be two things. One is community that's growing organically, and you have to have vetted founders that are part of the ecosystem, understand the ecosystem. Ideally, actually, were part of Superteam before, so they're part of Superteam Germany, and now they
Okay.
went back on to live in Spain, and they found this community that exists. So let's set up Superteam Spain here as well. Like
Yeah, and
even Netherlands, sorry, like Superteam Netherlands, like Guy Mick, he actually joined the Island DAO event in Greece, and he also joined the Startup Village in Split in Superteam Balkans, and he was our member before he actually set up his own Superteam Netherlands there. I was part of India before I went on to build
yeah,
Balkans. So ideally, the new leadership spawns from existing Superteam active members.
yeah, makes sense because of course you know what is super team, how it works, and you
And
kind of
understand the
can
vision. Like you can kind of
yeah, 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 yeah.
share the same vision in your country.
You can implement much easier. I always thought actually in the beginning, back in the day, because I was part for a little bit of Super Team UK, and you Super Team UK was one of the first ones. That the whole goal of the super teams was to bring more retail, like more normies to Solana. But actually, that was never the real vision. The real vision is to bring more builders, bring more projects, so you can one day maybe have the next Google on Solana or the
Yeah,
next
it was
Apple.
always it was a soul searching phase initially. Like we're trying to find all developers, designers, artists, retail traders on Solana. Let's see what works. And at some point, it kind of profiled into being mostly like technical founders. Like there's still other people that you want and content creators, etc. But for the most part, his focus is on we want the next unicorn on Solana build and coming from the Super Team kitchen. So you correctly identified. Initially, it was like a wider scope, wider
Okay.
net. At the end of the day, it was like less builders back in the day. You really had to
Of
scrape for
course.
every
Yeah.
piece across the ecosystem. And now that we have like the luxury to pick from like the builders in a way, you could only focus on that specific type of person.
Do you think there's a retention, a good retention ratio in terms of developers? Imagine you are from Web2 to build on Web3 for a little bit and you stay forever. Not forever, but you tend to stay.
There's a good retention mechanism. There's a lot of people like myself that work in Web2 felt the taste of Web3 and then never looked back. There's also people that kind of fell into, as price went down, as mindshare went down, they just got discouraged, they moved on, they whatever. There's also people that came back, and I feel like the latest generation of like migration was AI, right? So we not only see like crypto founders moving to AI, we also see new generations only thinking about building an AI rather than building in crypto, because crypto became mainstream and AI is the new hot topic. But I feel like the pendulum is going to shift back a bit soon, where founders are going to come back to crypto, or there's going to be some crypto X AI startups. The reason is relatively simple. AI is still rather new. It might not be able to capture the same moment that crypto had 5, 6, 7 years ago. And there's still no fastest route to capital than in crypto. Like AI, while it's a hot topic, it could achieve it. But in 2 years, I feel like crypto is still going to be the place where if you want to build startup, you build in crypto, because fastest route to capital. So the founders that are thinking maturely about capital formation and approaching their audience hands-on, if crypto retains its original startup mentality and vision, I feel like it's gonna be able to get out alive even by the time the next bull market comes. It's gonna be able to survive sufficiently to capture the next generation of builders as well. So crypto has, as a conclusion, crypto has a major retention mechanism, I would say. Like it's addictive, not just because of price movement and everything, but because of like the whole dynamics of the ecosystem.
Yeah, it's so fast, right? People, there's
Yeah,
dopamine
like
rush of stuff happening.
yeah,
But it's funny because you mentioned crypto, but I'm not sure if all across crypto is like that in terms of developers.
I'm mostly thinking of Solana when I say crypto, to
Right.
be honest.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
what I've
Okay,
seen
okay.
in other ecosystems with my limited interactions, whenever I try to engage with other ecosystems like conferences and so forth, or when I try to solve MetaMask wallet to start learning Ethereum, because I want to see if I'm being misguided and misbelieved that Solana is the number one. I tried to set up Ethereum and I was convinced that shit, actually Solana is the number one. But yeah, when I say crypto, I'm mostly thinking of Solana, because my thesis is that in 10 years, personally, we might not even see Bitcoin in the form it is right now. And if Solana maintains its current mentality in 5, 10 years, like the culture, it's probably gonna lead to being number two, number one.
Do you think that Solana Foundation are building for the future? What
Are they building for
everything
the
that is
future?
been doing is, or is for the present, is more for
It's both. It's both. You had to build for the future 4 years ago, because at the time there wasn't really like any present stuff you could build right now. You were trying to, a lot of startups that are built 4 years ago, you build them now, you're going to succeed, because we built them too prematurely. But now we're building both for present, because there is an active pool of builders building for issues that are at hand right now. There's also forward-facing, future-facing builders that are building for the age of AI. Like what's going to be the next unicorn in 3 years that's shaped by the AI industry, quantum resistant and so forth. So there's a lot of future topics that we're leaning towards. And you see Solana like taking a really big bet on AI. Like even Superteam USA is accepting teams that are not necessarily crypto, but also into just AI, as long as they have like a roadmap to one day integrate crypto for like payments, etc. But their obvious bet is that there's going to be surely there's going to be like a new category defining unicorn in AI in the next few years. Like we've seen prediction markets, polar market, we've seen hyperliquid for perps. There's probably going to be a new category defining product in AI, and you just want to capture all of the mind share in AI. If you're going to be building in AI and crypto, it's probably going to be Solana. So whatever the new product in AI it is that uses crypto as the rails, you want it to be built on Solana. And in that regard, Solana is very future facing because they correctly identified that the next battlefront is AI and quantum as well, I would say.
Okay, yeah. It's funny because I had interviewed Lollipop from Bandito DAO. He was saying that he sees a future where AI and crypto are not competitors, are actually working together hand in hand. I don't know if you see that vision as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like obviously, there's not going to be. It's a Venn diagram, right? So there's one thing that's specifically crypto, the other one specifically AI. But there's like a shared thing where there's probably going to be a couple of unicorns or decacorns spawning, and crypto X AI has to work together to figure it out. I'm not sure if like AI feels like the need for crypto as much, but you could definitely see people in crypto thinking proactively about AI. And the next crypto X AI startup is probably going to come from a crypto native builder rather than an AI builder integrating crypto, I would say. So there's like a shared energy, shared missions there to change the world. But if I had to take a bet, it'd probably be a crypto native founder building on crypto X AI.
Okay. This is more like an opinion. When you mention about AI and crypto, you see that crypto gonna come back. But the issue sometimes is that AI has much more real life usage, right? Every person in the world can use AI, while crypto, you can still think, are we gonna use crypto on your daily? So that's why I think AI is so it took so many people and devs and users.
It's much more tangible to people and much more use cases.
And understandable as well, right? They understand the need of AI.
Exactly, and people thinking that AI bubble is going to burst is like there might not even be a bubble because like crypto had a bubble because we had a huge capital coming in and no product had revenue. Like how do you have this much valuation on all projects and no revenue? But AI actually has revenue. Like it's making millions and billions of dollars of revenue.
Yeah, because you don't mind to pay $20, $100 per an AI agent, but you don't want to pay $20 or $30 for a wallet or for whatever, right?
Yeah, AI took the world by storm. Like it's obviously been cooking for 5, 10, 15 years, whatever. There's been LLMs before. But in the last couple of years, it really took the world by storm. Unlike crypto, that is still like, even now, it feels a little bit underwhelming in a way because we took the world in a way like Western Union, Visa, everyone talking about PayPal having stable coins, and it's still like, okay, is this it? Like, is this what you fought for? Is this the end game, or is there like still something higher? Like, we're currently in a soul searching phase and trying to figure out if there's still an X10, X100 opportunities here, not like price wise, but like opportunities wise. Or is this it? Like, did we burst the bubble and now it's like mainstream and that's done?
There's something new happening on Solana, and you can hear it. Soul Radio is a 24/7 radio stream and original tracks only. No copies, no noise, just real vibes from the ecosystem. If you're part of the space, you need to hear this. Discover Soul Radio now at soulradio.fun.
So can you tell us also like what are the projects that you helped in the past, like to raise money or with advice, mentorship, and which ones are the ones that you are now currently working with?
Yeah, so there's quite a few projects I've helped on to varying degrees. Like some of them I help pivot, some of them I help downsize, cut out the co-founders and so forth. Go to market, find the first 10 users. Couple of them that are kind of like my pride and joy are, one of them is ClipStake. Those are like the two founders that they were playing with Web3, but their initial product was on BNB chain. They weren't a DGen product, but they just like picked the wrong chain. So they actually pivoted from building Web3 to building in Web2. They killed the Web3 part. They didn't have distribution there. And as I approached them, they actually decided to give Web3 one more chance. They went on to Solana. We gave them grant the Superteam Balkans. We gave them the initial push. We helped them. We sponsored their trip to San Francisco, if I recall correctly. There's like an MVP hackathon by Alliance. They actually won the MVP hackathon and got the investment from Alliance, like 450,000, I think, at the day. So they really went from not being on chain at all to pivoting, to getting monetary support, getting go-to-market support, repos from Solana accounts, to finding their first users, and all the way to getting support to applying to Alliance and actually getting into Alliance. And there's some more news cooking there. They have this revenue, like 6 figures, but I'm not going to go into details too much. Some things are not disclosed publicly. The other one is Spend. In my opinion, they have yet to see their prime. So their product, which allows anyone to buy anything on Amazon and eBay with stablecoins. You could just go to Amazon, eBay, add items to cart, and pay in stablecoins. That's it. So it's a super simple product. It allows everyone to spend stablecoins. And there's like a difference essentially between them and neobanks, because neobanks offer crypto credit cards. You can use a credit card to pay for stuff, but they require KYCs, their geolocation blocked because maybe your country does not support a specific card, and so forth. They allow you to essentially just come there, connect wallet, and pay for items. That's it, because they pay the order on your behalf and ship to your address. So it's kind of like Web3 drop shipping with stablecoins, right? You pay in stables, they pay in fiat, and that's it. We helped them with a grant. We helped them with initial product feedback and iterations, with designs, with talking to users, etc. We even helped them get some exposure for the last breakpoint. We printed some flyers, gave them out, and people actually saw the flyers and bought iPhones during last breakpoint with stablecoins. So it's spend.shop, but the E in spend is not E, it's a 3.
Okay. I think I used it actually.
And I would encourage people to look a little bit more into them, especially if they're into angel investing. I personally believe that they're going to be the next hot topic in the next 1-2 years, especially as they integrate more shops, so like Temu, etc. The idea is to allow anyone to buy anything in stablecoins online with no KYC, with no obstacles, with no major fees, etc. So yeah, it's basically the first one, ClipStake. I haven't mentioned the name. It's called ClipStake. The second one is Spend, and there's a couple of more. One of them is Hoba, that's self-repaying loan. You take out a loan like $1,000. You use $10,000 as collateral, and they use your collateral of 10K to pay out the loan. So it's negative API. That's a banger product. I never used loans before. I've used them through Hoba. I love the product. The founders are cracked. They're ex-Meta, ex-Soulflare. If I had to place a bet, I would say that they're probably like, I have decent beliefs that they're going to become a unicorn on Solana.
Okay, that's good. And is this project, so you are helping them through Superteam or as an independent?
Yes and no. So currently I'm just a consultant at Superteams. Most of the time I work pro bono. Sometimes I help with specific activations that require too many resources and so forth. But it's I help both through Superteam and as Josip. Sometimes only as Josip, sometimes only as Superteam, and sometimes a mix of the two.
And what, you have your own projects, right? Do you want to mention? Do you want to speak about them?
Yeah, I'm gonna come out of closet. Yeah, I do have my own project. So initial project a few years ago was digital comics on Solana. It made over 6 figures of revenue, and then I killed it because there's no way to scale the product correctly. The Reader. So it was digital.
I have a T-shirt, a yellow T-shirt. So maybe that's why we met. Maybe that's where we met.
I think it is. At London Startup Village. I gave you the shirt. So that is the first one, but it couldn't really scale beyond Web3. There's too much prejudice in Web2 communities and comic communities towards NFTs and like collecting through NFTs. Then I pivoted to kind of like a Kickstarter, so crowdfunding, but it's more crowd investing rather than crowdfunding. You could crowd invest into a video game, board game, etc. I haven't announced it yet officially. I still have some things to resolve, but effectively, I'm going to be winding that down. And last couple of months, I've been working a stealth on trying to figure out the next thing I'm going to be building.
How hard it is then to raise money for projects, right? Because normally the idea from someone that is from outside is that you have to know, you have to have the contacts, you have to know all the big guys inside the information. How hard it is if you want to?
It's obviously it's always easier to raise if you know the right people, if you have some connections in the VC world, if you essentially have warm intros, right? Like it's much easier than cold DMs. But in reality, you can there's no barrier to raising. Like the only person that's stopping you from raising is yourself. You are the one responsible for building a product that's going to be so exciting and gonna generate so much revenue or traction that nobody's going to be able to deny it. Like you have to get to the phase where this is an undeniably investable product. You want to get to the point where people want to throw money at you because they know you're going to succeed, as opposed to you have to convince them that you're going to succeed. So it's kind of like a bear market, kind of right now. There's less capital than it was before. People are more keen to spending money on AI startups rather than crypto because AI is a safer bet for some right now. And a lot of people got burned on crypto startups. Even if startups succeeded, they invested through like a token underperformed by the time it unlocked in a year. So a lot of VCs kind of feel some fatigue from crypto. But still, there's a lot more capital than there was in previous bear market. There's sufficient. There's a shortage of good builders, I would say, more than there is a shortage of capital. If you're a crack builder with a crack product, building at the right time, in the right direction, with some sort of traction or provable metrics, like you should be able to raise money. Like there should be obstacles to raising. So I would say that it's not ideal, but it's also the phase where the stars are born. Like people are now investing into startups that are going to get us to the next bull market cycle, because these are going to be the category-defining startups and unicorns.
Okay, and how do you compare, for example, raising through VCs with hackathons? Because in this case, you kind of representing Colosseum. Because the thing with VCs that you have the added pressure. They are not just giving you the money, right? They're investing in you, so they pressure you to build and to deliver, right? While the hackathons,
I mean,
more,
no, it's different, and honestly, I wouldn't dive into this topic because it deserves it to be a standalone topic, like VCs versus community raising versus, I don't know, accelerators. TLDR would be, in my opinion, your best bet would be if you raise through an accelerator. So a single early stage, if you're an early stage builder, pre-revenue or have some sort of revenue, you don't go to VCs, you go to people that can help you accelerate to the next stage. And that's like Colosseum, that's Alliance, that's Solana Incubator, that's like those accelerator type of deals, like YC. VCs are more for mature people that have traction and provable metrics. Like it's easy to buy them in. And community raises and bootstrap, etc., like they have their own set of shortcomings and benefits. I would personally advise as like a blanket rule, but obviously this rule is not meant for everyone. Like there's exceptions to the rule. A blanket rule would be, if you're an early stage startup, try to either get into an accelerator that's going to cover your whole pre-seed round, that's not afraid to invest into experimental startups, or get to the phase where you have traction and then raise from VCs. That's the kind of blanket rule, but again, it's not a one size fits all.
Okay, and do you notice that a lot of people are coming from other chains? They were trying to build on whatever XRP, Algorand, and then suddenly they contact you.
There's a bunch of them. I don't know if people from Solana are going to other chains, because I don't have those insights. But from other chains coming to us, so there's probably like some cross-chain migration, being founders to them, and the opposite. But like people coming from Cardano, where they know Rust, people coming from EVMs, people there's pretty much like every Colosseum cycle, every hackathon, we see an influx of new people coming from other ecosystems to Solana.
If you have anything that you want to share about the hackathons, about the super team that I didn't ask, if you want to make any final statement, like for someone that doesn't have, he wants to build but he doesn't know where to go, what to do, like if you have any kind of final advice.
If you're a new person looking to get connected to Superteam, or Superteam maybe rejected you, they deemed you as like low quality lead and so forth, find founders. Like founders were in your like early stage founders, they were in your shoes just recently. The reason why I helped founders was because I had other founders help me for free.
Yeah.
So, and you can easily connect with them on a personal level. Like you're both grinding, you're working overtime, you're trying to raise a startup on Solana and so forth. So easiest way to get connected, plugged into the ecosystem and find opportunities is to talk other founders and try to get them to run warm intros for you. Can you warm intro me to an investment fund? Can you warm intro me to a super team, to Solana Foundation, to etc. Like final tips and tricks here is to just like connect with founders that are going to be able to resonate with you and help you jump through the initial hurdles you might have.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming to the episode. It was a pleasure, as always, talking about Solana and crypto. Thank you.
Yeah, Vitor, thank you very much for having me.
Chop, chop, the wood we carry. Chop, chop, never